Good morning, beautiful beaders. How are you doing? A little bit housekeeping to begin with. I'm just going to head over to our Facebook group on Totally Beads and hopefully add those in as well. So anyone watching can, anyone wanting to watch can try and find us. So just bear with me a little second. Hopefully everything will be working in just a minute. Please let me know if you can hear me and you can see me okay. I've had a little message in from Phoenix Creation. She says she's not been able, she's had to watch on catch up recently. There's been too much going on. She's missed the lives and she's in bad need of chill out time, and she can't wait to get back to normality again. I hope you're well, and thank you for joining us if you can. So today I'm going to be making some little bracelets with you. I've called them Malorie. I will give you a little look at them here down on the mat so you can see what we're doing today. So I am going to be doing needle and thread stitch project. So if you want to get those, you can add them into your basket. If you haven't already got them, I'm just checking. Yeah, good morning to Rachel. Teresa says she can hear and see me okay. So we're going to be using some lovely crystals, some lovely two different sizes of beads, and some seed beads as well. We're going to use the glass pearls today. So we've got some lovely bits and bobs for you. They've been discounted, and I'm pretty sure your kit makes 4 as well. So I'm going to take you over to the website now so you can have a little look where you can get your kits. If you're not too sure, we are totallybeads.co.uk. As I say, my computer's been a little bit with its settings this morning, so hopefully it will all work. So head over to the website. You can click into the video tutorial categories here. There's another one with our faces on, or you can head into jewellery making as well and click into the video tutorial section there. We do ship worldwide, so if you want to change your currency, you can do. You can contact us this way. If you've got an account, then you get points with us for each purchase that you make, and it's always good when you accumulate them. So today is the Malorie bracelet. I took loads and loads of photographs of these. These are the ones that Simon has decided shows them off the best. I struggle to photograph them, to be honest, because I think a bracelet looks better when it's on. You can see the shape of it more, and I was trying to tilt the angle of them so you could see those beads. But they have been reduced to just £8.09, and it makes 4 bracelets in your kit. So you're going to get everything you need, bar your thread and your needle. I'm going to use 2 needles today, and one's a little bit bent out of shape because it's me, but they are size 10. If you want to add in your needle and thread, you can do that as well. So we've got a lovely bronze, a lovely pink, a purple and a blue sapphire. So 4 lovely colours for you to choose from, and I'll show you exactly the sizes and things. So if you want to add in the needle and thread, you can do so by just clicking there if you don't already have some in your stash. Alternatively, if you don't want to use a needle and thread, I think this would work on a beading thread like tiger tail. Of course, you will need your crimp beads, your culottes, or your crimp covers if you prefer to use it that way. And I think it would work just as well. So whatever method you prefer, you can do. So as I say, it makes up 4 bracelets. We're using the crystal rondelles, which are 6 by 8 millimeters. We've got the glass pearl round beads, which will be the same color. You've got your 6 and your 3 millimeters, so 2 different sizes of that. And we're using Toho size 11 seed beads and a toggle clasp as well. So if you have a little scroll down, you can see exactly the colors that we're using. I'm using coffee colored glass pearls in the 6 and the 3, using the crystal rondelles in the bronze plate, and I'm using the gold lined black diamond for the size 11 seed beads. This one is going on that lovely gold coloured toggle clasp, and I think that complements it very, very nicely, especially those though they call black diamond to me. They're gold, the seed beads, but again, I'll show you them down on the mat in a little bit so you can have a little look. So if you want to get any extras of these, you can click down here. If you get just one of your kits, then it's going to make up 4 bracelets for you. So that one is the gorgeous bronze colorway, bronzes and coffees. This one is your pink, Again, same price, £8.09 to make 4 bracelets. This one's going to be on the silver little toggle clasp, which is your 14mm. I'm using, is that what they're called? Kalon tomato soup. Well, again, they are pink to me. I quite like that. They're not tomato soup coloured though. Tomato soup's red, not pink. They're the size 11 Toho seed beads. I'm using the rose pink in the glass pearl rounds and the salmon pink in your crystal rondelles 6x8s. So you can see, really straightforward little make. I am going to use 2 needles because I think it's just easier to kind of pass them through. And it makes a very pretty, comfortable wear make. We've got the purple, which is lovely. Today it's probably my favourite, but I'm going to demo, I think, with the blue. So again, making up 4 bracelets. This time, this colourway's got the purple crystal rondelles and the grape glass pearls. And I'm using an antique silver toddle with the silver lined light grape. I love the colour of those seed beads. They're really, really pretty. And obviously, you know, your thread can also change slightly the colour if you're using a coloured thread. Today I'm going to be demoing for you the sapphire blue. And this one has got a gunmetal coloured toggle with it. I'm using the grey, opaque grey rainbow kind of Toho size 11 seed beads, space blue pearls, and the sapphire blue crystal rondelles. So they're your bracelets today. A nice straightforward make for you. And I am probably I'm going to do it on my macrame board. The only reason I'm doing it on a macrame board is not because I'm doing macrame, but just so I can kind of position it like this, my threads, see what I'm doing. It's easy enough to kind of work that way for me. You do whatever you want, but it stops me getting into a little bit of a tangle. So I've got loads of you in now, so I'm going to say a quick good morning to you all. Hello to Camille. She says, a little dull here again, needles to say and thread. Oh, needless to say and thread. I'm very confused. Are you laughing at? There you go. Okay, she said an autocorrect. Yes, I'm using needle and thread. Got me big girl pants on. Good morning to Carol. Good morning to Mina. Good morning to Frances. Hello to Trish. She says this looks gorgeous. Thank you very much. Hello to Sally. I hope you're doing well. She's in a cold, damp, tall bay. It's quite bright actually today. It's still windy and it's not overly warm, but it is bright. So I'm taking that as a little win. Mina says she's loving the bronze colour. Anna's in as well. Hello to DIY Dream Weddings UK. How are you doing? Not seeing you for a little while. I hope you're well. Good morning to Kath. I hope you're doing well. And Camille's in as well. I know it's pronounced Ceylon. Ceylon. Yeah, I know. I'm not great, am I? Oh, okay. So Camille's given me a little fact. Ceylon is pronounced Ceylon. The place before it became Sri Lanka. Love that. I'm not great at my geography either, but thank you for that. And Teresa says sapphire is her favourite colour. Okay, so I'm going to take you down on the mat. Let me just stop sharing that screen and bring this one up, and hopefully my camera will be playing along with me today. So you've got the lovely pink colour, lovely, lovely pearls with those little seed beads. You've got your purples, your bronzy golds and your sapphire blue. I will take them off to show you how they look. Now I've measured these out. They work out once you've got your toggle on at about 8.5 inches, I think. So that would be using 7 of the crystals in the middle. So if you want to, you can make that shorter by just taking out one of the little pattern repeats, or you can make it longer. They would also, I think, make quite nice necklaces. Obviously, they might twist as they sit, but you could, obviously, you've got enough in your kit. I think it's making 4, is it? So, you know, you could just make one very long one and you could wear that as a necklace. but they are very comfortable to wear. They just sit like this across your wrist. This one is the lovely sapphire, and again you've got that toggle, which means it does slip in and out really nice and easy to attach. That one is your sapphire, and this beautiful, I like them all. I was like, the purple's the favourite today, and then I've picked this one up and gone, well, actually. Camille says, I'm full of useless information. I know, I'm the same, but I love a random fact. So as you can see, you can adjust them in terms of the size that you want quite easily. I would just, take out one of those little sections. So they're your 4 colours today. And I'm going to get started. So I'm just going to take, I'm taking a macrame board just because I find it easier to just stick my needles back in. And if you've got a beading mat, then that will work just the same. So all I've done is I've taken about a generous arm span, a metre, say, of my thread. And I've done that because I'm working off one length. I'm going to go 2 sides. So I've just attached that onto my toggle. I've just stuck a little pin in my board just to hold my toggle in place while I work, and I find it gives me a better tension personally. When I've finished the length of my bracelet, I'm going to work back up again, and I'm going to do a couple of half hitch knots. I can work all the way back up if I've used this length, because I'll be able to strengthen that clasp around there as well. But I did find I did this one twice. I'd gone back through it and I'd made it a little bit too tight, and they weren't sitting quite like I wanted them to. So for me, I'm new to beading when it comes to like a stitch thread. So for me, it took me, 4 attempts I found to get them all perfectly right. 4 attempts being all the colorways. First time I did it was fine. The last one I came to do, I was like, no, I'm going to redo that one again. So I find that when I'm working off the board, it gives me enough slack really, and then I can tighten it up when I run back through it if it needs to do so. Tracy says, good morning, Natalie and everybody. From a very stressful morning, trying to sort a smartwatch. Oh dear, technology, I'm not the one to ask. Full of useless information, but no technological help whatsoever. Tracy says, it's time to relax and watch me. Okay, let's get calm. Good morning to Ollie Young Nye as well. I hope you're well. So I've just took 1 length metre of my thread, I've tied that onto my clasp, and I've attached it to 2 needles. I'm using size 10 needles. So I'm going to take one of my bracelets here just to show you how this works. So I'm going to bring, to begin with, through the pearl, and I'm going to go in the same direction. So I'm using the larger pearl to start off with. You've got 2 sizes of the glass pearls in your kit. We've got the larger one being the 6mm and the smaller being the 3mm. So I'm going to start with that 6, and I'm going to pick up my bead, and I'm just going to go and bring my needle on one side. It really doesn't matter which side you work off, because I'm going to do them both. So I'm taking the left needle and I'm bringing that through. I'm really hoping, as I've not really got myself in a knot or a tangle at any point, I'm hoping now I'm on the live, I'm not going to, and I'm going to continue that lucky streak. I'm then going to take the other needle, which is the right hand side, and I'm bringing it through in the same direction of the pearl. So I'm going to go back from the top down to the bottom, and then I'm just going to pull that up gently to sit next to my little toggle at the top. So I'll pop that there so you can see what we are doing. I'm now going to pick up my seed beads, and I'm going to use 4 of my seed beads. So I'm going to put 4 onto each needle and thread. And I'm going to take those up to the top where the bead is, and then do the same on the other side. So 4 seed beads, it's a really easy pattern repeat. And then once I've got the 4 on, I'm going to go with that smaller pearl, which is the 3. And I'm popping on a small pearl onto each one. And each time I have the crystal, I'm going to frame it with those smaller pearls. So it should be like this. Large pearl, both sides coming through, 4 little seed beads and a little pearl on each side. And now I'm going to pick up my first crystal rondelle. As I say, I've done the bracelet, so you'll have enough to do 7 of these sections, or 7 little crystals. And I'm going to bring that thread through one side, and then with the needle I'm going to pass through in the opposite direction. So they're not coming down the top, they're going across. And then I'm going to pull that gently up, and that will be sitting like so. And then again, as I say, I'm going to frame the crystal with a pearl. So now I'm going to kind of work backwards. So I'm going to add the small pearl on to each side. I'm going to add on another 4 seed beads, always 4 seed beads. So you might find that if you're doing them on the mat, you can just pick them up with your needle. I tend to pick my needle up, take a little pinch, and just thread them on that way. So now that crystal rondelle is framed by the 4 little pearls and then my seed beads. And then I'm going to come back down through the pearl, again like we did before. So coming through the top, and instead of crossing in the opposite direction, I'm bringing both needles and threads through the same way. So through the top and out the bottom. And then I'm just going to give it a little pull. I'm not too concerned, as I say, about the tension on this at the moment. It will make that lovely shape. And that's going to be our pattern repeat. We're just going to keep repeating that until you've got the length of what you want. Angela says, good morning. It's windy in full far. DIY Dream Wedding says, I've been watching the replays, doing a big clear out and cleaning the house. I am jealous. I had all great intentions of doing exactly the same, and then I just haven't. I've been making instead. I've made so much jewellery the last week. I must have made about 5 pairs of earrings, God knows how many bracelets, a million necklaces, a partridge in a pear tree, and some wire pendants. So it's always something that has to give or take with me. It's beading or housework, or making and housework, and I know what I prefer to do, so I've done that instead. Okay, now I've got my pearl, I'm going to add those 4 little seed beads onto each side again. And then my little pearl. Onto the next needle, 4 of my seed beads. And my small 3mm pearl. So the crystal will always have the smaller pearls next to it, and the larger pearl will always have the seed beads next to it. Does that make sense? And then I'm going to pick up my next crystal rondelle, and I'm taking that needle through one side, and then the other side is going to go back through in the opposite direction. And little pull up, and then another pearl onto each one. So we're kind of going in reverse now, and 4 seed beads. Love the colour of these seed beads. They're like a rainbow blue. Got loads of gorgeous colours in them. DIY Dream Wedding says, don't be jealous, it's hard work. I'd rather be jewellery making. I'll get to that soon. Got some kits to make. Ooh, what have you got? Anything nice? I'm then going to add on the same onto the other side. So I've got my pearl, and then I'm just going to scoop up 4 seed beads. Bring them up to my crystal, and then we're going to go back through the pearl. So taking it through the top of the drill hole and out through the bottom, and again on the other side, coming from the top and out through the bottom. It really is very, very simple. Just move that board up a little bit. So as I pull on those threads, those pearls will kind of sit next to that little crystal. And repeating again, coming out of the pearl, I'll need the seed beads. And a small pearl. And the same on the other side. Nina says, I've been making lots of beaded stitch necklace as not enough for next week's big show I'm going to. Ooh, where's your show, Mina? I started to panic about teacher gifts. So I've been putting some earrings together for them as well. And then not sure yet what I'm going to do for the male teacher that sometimes takes the class. I think I'll probably do like a gemstone macrame bracelet or something. Something a little bit more masculine. Now I could do chainmail. It's just the time. I'm going to take that crystal. I'm going to go through one side, and the needle is going to pass back through in the opposite direction. And then give it a little pull. I mean, what's a good thing, Mina, is if you're saying you've not got that many, that means you've sold quite a lot, because you're always making, you do very well at your fairs. Of course, if you have craft fairs, you can use these designs, you can make, you can sell them, you can gift them. These would have been nice little teacher makes as well, to be honest. So back on with the pearl. And then 4 seed beads. Bringing them up together. And now I'm going to go back through my larger pearl again. Through the top and out the bottom. And the same on the other side, through the same pearl, through the top and out the bottom. And that will just bring them together. Thank you very much. Got comments saying this looks very pretty. Sharon says, good morning, creative beading ears. Back home now to good old British weather. Got the washing on, so now having a nice chillax and watching you. And I've got to sort out the fun for the weekend. What are you doing at the weekend? Has anyone got any nice plans? We've got a school kind of summer gala type thing, like a little festival. So we bought lots of raffle tickets. We've donated prizes. I'm hoping the weather stays okay. It's depending on what forecast you look at, it's a bit of a mixed bag. It's meant to be raining in the morning, which means the bouncy castle will probably turn into a log flume. Tracy's asking, is there any chance of a new USB with chainmail and wire work demos, etc.? I don't know. I don't know, Tracy. It's not something I'm working on at the moment, but it's definitely something that we could do. There are USBs. I think there was about 4 USBs that Totally Beads did, which has loads of different projects on it. But I think the majority of them were kind of like stitch projects. So they are quite time consuming to put together, but they are an awful lot of fun, and it's really good if you've got them all in one place. So I don't know. I'll mention it to Kitty. Obviously, we've got the BeadClub as well, so it could be a case of like adapting some of the PDFs that go for that. Thank you, Joanne. She's very pretty design. So again, I've got my pearls, my small pearls on, so it's time to add my next crystal. I'm just going to go through with one needle and back through with the other. It's a really quick make as well. I'm doing it nice and slowly, but it is a quick make. You could probably make this bracelet up, I think, in about, 15 minutes, if that. Depends how quick you go. I always find it difficult when someone says, well, how long will this take you? Because everyone's different, aren't they? I did a wire pendant the other day, and it took me quite a few hours. But then also if you're stopping and starting or being distracted by everything else. But this is a nice quick project. So I've got my pearls on, always 4 seed beads on each side. Taking my pearl, larger pearl, coming through the top, with both needles. I just find this easier to do with 2 needles. I think I'd get myself in a bit of a pickle if I was using just the one. Now I'm going to add another 4 of my seed beads. Using 2 needles just helps me kind of get my head around the thread path, and also working this way, holding it kind of vertically, helps me see what I'm doing. But it's very, I was going to say it's very difficult to go wrong with this, but that's just going to jinx me, isn't it? I've added the wrong thing on or whatever. Okay, now I've got my seed beads coming out of the pearl. I'm going to finish that little run with a small seed bead. A small pearl. And then I'm going to go through the crystal. Tracy says, I've got all the others, but not much chainmail or wire work on it. I have a playlist. So if you go onto my YouTube channel, which is Natalie Patton Jewellery, I tend to put mine into categories. So I I don't know whether I've got a chainmail category on, but I've definitely got wire work on. So it will take you through to all of the lives we've done with wire work, or if you want a bracelet, or if you're looking for, like, you know, a particular kind of like Halloween make or Valentine's make or Christmas make, something like that. And that I've put them into categories that way. You can, of course, always go onto the Totally Beads website, and they will have categories there as well if you want to have a little watch back. But of course, the tutorial is this video, is a recording of the live. So you still get all the chit chat, and get to hear what the weather was like when we were doing that live. If they don't really come with a PDF, some of them do. I think Kitty's project she made this week, I think that has a PDF with it. I think she was doing necklaces, wasn't she, on Wednesday, was it? Oh, that's a good idea. Tracy says I take the USBs up to the caravan with me, but got no internet up there. Ah, okay. Oh, I'd like a caravan holiday. I'd like any kind of holiday roundabout now. Okay, so I'm just working along. I mean, for me, this is probably about the right size, but I'll make it true to what's in your kit. So there's enough for 4 bracelets in your kit, and each bracelet will be, I think it's about 8.5 inches. I always try and do it on like the larger side, because it's easier to adapt if you want to make it smaller. And if you want to make it larger, then I don't want you to like run out of beads and be like, oh, I've not got enough crystals. But again, you could make this as like a little necklace as well if you wanted. Just fired a bead off the table there. So 4 seed beads at each little point. Anytime I come to do crystal section, I'm gonna have those smaller pearls either side, bringing that through. So always down and out of the larger pearl, 6 mil, and always through and across the opposite side with the crystal. Starting with the pearl, 4 seed beads. Same on the other side. A really nice, easy pattern repeat that doesn't take that much concentration. Just picking up my seed beads and the fluff off the table. And then back through the pearl. So I'm coming from the top and out the bottom. Apologise if you can hear noise in the hallway. Someone's knocking at the door. And I don't think it's the postcode lottery people. Okay, so I'm back with my pearl. I'm going to come to my last little section now. So 4 seed beads. Small pearl. Same on the other side. And and then back through my 7th crystal, my last one. So going through one side, coming across, and then through the other side. Draw that together. And then finishing with the pearls. And the 4 seed beads. Now I started with the larger 6mm pearl, so I'm going to finish with that as well before I add on the other part of my clasp. Now bear in mind you're getting 4, enough to make 4 bracelets in your kit today, so you will have 4 toggle clasps. So make sure when you are attaching your clasp, you're attaching the right end. So I tend to start off with the O of the toggle, so the circle part of the clasp, and that way I can hook it onto my board or my beading mat, whatever I'm doing. So I'm going to finish with the bar. So I'm going to take the bar and I'm going to go through one side with the needle, and then I'm going to go through the opposite side with the needle. Now I'm not tying any knots or anything in this, as I'm just going to run it backwards and forwards up my kind of thread path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the needles and I'm going to go back through the pearl and I will tighten this up. I'm also going to take it through the seed beads. I usually take it off the board at this point. I'll leave it here now just as I bring that first part through. I'm hoping I don't get myself in a big tangly mess because it's gone well so far. And this is one of the reasons I don't like beading on live, because I just always get tangled up. So then I'm taking the other that's come through the clasp. I'm going to go back through the pearl again. And you've got a good size in all of these beads, so you can get that thread back through. Just going to come off the toggle because I've managed to catch that. And then I'm just going to tighten that up. And again, I'm going to work back through the seed beads and the pearl. So just give it a little pull, and that will pull that toggle neatly into place. Okay, so it's just a case now of running it back through and doing some little half hitch knots. So I'm just going to follow that thread path, and I'm going to do it with both needles again, and I find it does kind of tighten up those pearls around the crystal as well. So run it back through, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing my half hitch knot just to kind of tie it off. So at some point as I'm running back, whether it be through my seed beads or whatever point you want to do, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come through and kind of catch that thread, which will create a teeny tiny little knot. And then I can just carry on. I am going to take this off the board now just to hold it up. I'm going to then travel back away from the knot through the seed beads And then again, I'm going to go up a little bit further. And you can run this all the way back up to the end, go around the clasp again, and that will strengthen the clasp too. So I'm just, if you can see, if I hold it up here, I'm bringing it through where the thread is, and then I've created that little loop. I bring that needle back through the loop. I'll do it really, really slow, and hopefully you can see. It's just going to create a tiny little knot which will sit between the beads, and then I can just carry on traveling away from that knot, and then I can cut off my thread whenever I want to. I will do the same with the other side. So I'm going to travel it back up through my thread path. And it's at this point where I try and get the tension a little bit better. So by going back up, it's just going to tighten this section up. So if that thread's a little bit slack, it will kind of tighten. Taking it back through. So I'll make sure I do at least one or maybe two half hitch knots through on each side of the needle, if that makes sense. So I'm going to bring it through a couple of my beads. I'm going to catch the thread. So just bringing the needle underneath. Going to go through the loop that I've started to form with that. And as I pull it, it's going to create a tiny little knot. I hope you can see that okay. And then carry it on, bringing it through, and that will tighten it up as I go. So I'm just going to work back through along my bracelet. And you can do your half hitch knot at any point. I tend to do it through the seed beads because it creates such a small knot, you can't see it. Again, just giving a gentle pull on that as I go. Just to tighten up that thread. So I've done at least 2 half hitches on each side now. That will be more than enough. Just following that thread path all the way back up the bracelet. And the joy of using a needle means you can get it through quite a lot of the sections at once. So going through the pearl, through the seed beads, through the pearl, through the seed beads, back through the crystal, taking that all the way through to the end. gentle little pull just to tighten it up. And then I'm going to go back through that last pearl, over the clasp, so coming through the loop in the clasp, and then back through the pearl again. And then you can work your way back down and cut off. We'll just take this thread back through the end as well. So it's nice, I think, this morning to have a little bit of distraction from what's going on. Well, definitely in the UK, we've had our general election. So that's all that's on the television. Very important, so, you know, quite rightly so. But sometimes it's nice to just get lost in the beads, isn't it, really? So you can see as I'm bringing my thread back through, it is kind of tightening up. So I think, well, there's a little bit of slack maybe there. When I bring that back through again, it will tighten it up. So you could probably do this with tiger tail as well. It will give it, it'll make it a bit more firmer, whereas I prefer, hence why I've used the thread, because I just feel it's more comfortable to wear because it's a little bit more floppy, so it'll fit around your wrist much, I think, more relaxed, shall we say. Have I managed to tangle that up? No, I'm okay. I'm still good. I'm still good. And you know, you can always work back down it again. You've got plenty of thread there. You don't always have to go right to the top of the clasp either, if you don't want to. And then I'm going to come back down just to tighten that section up a little bit more. Like Camille said, it's still going on. Hubby's still watching. I know. Hopefully you've all been and you voted. I know we shouldn't talk politics, but our warehouse for Totally Beads is based in Clapton. And as I'm sure you're very aware, they're going to be on the news an awful lot. So I'd imagine the place is like swarming with reporters and press and whatnot. So, yeah, get Totally Beads on the telly. Okay, I've managed to catch that right at the end. There you go. So just work back through, get it how you want it. When you're happy, you can then just cut off your thread close to the bead, because you've got those half hitch knots in, which will make it nice and secure. If you find it easier, just turn the bracelet as you work. Give it a little pull. get your tension right. Don't think I went through that side before, so just need to tighten that up. That's better. Okay, so when you're happy with what you've got and you've made your bracelet, you can then just take your scissors or your cutters and just give it a little trim off. And that is how you make your lovely bracelet. DIY Dream Wedding says tennis is a better subject. I'm not very sporty, not watching that either. So these are your Malorie bracelets today. 4 lovely colours. You've got the bronze, you've got the pretty in pinks, we've got that gorgeous sapphire blue one, and we've got the purple. All very lovely, all very comfortable to wear, just attach on easy with that lovely toggle. Each of your kit is enough to make 4 lovely bracelets, and each bracelet kit making 4 is £8.09. So I got through it, I didn't get myself in a pickle, and for the first time in a little while the camera stayed working, so very, very happy with that. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely weekend, because it is Friday, unless you're watching at a later date, and then I don't know what date it is for you, but I'm hoping you're okay. I'm going to be back with you on Monday. What am I making Monday? Necklaces on Monday, little heart kind of dangles, really, really pretty, dead straightforward make. I'm going to be using some eye pins, some tiny little pearls, and a little bit of chain. So something a bit different. I've got bracelets planned for you, which I'm quite excited about. I've got all sorts coming up. So do come and join me if you can. Have a lovely weekend and stay making, and I'll see you soon. Take care.